God says you have been walking with a weight on your heart that even you couldn't put into words, and God says He has seen every moment you stayed silent, every moment you tried to convince yourself that everything was fine, and every moment you chose to trust instead of question. You have been loyal beyond what was fair, patient beyond what was reasonable, and understanding beyond what was appreciated. But God wants you to know that He has not missed a single detail. He saw the things you didn't see. He heard the conversations you never heard. He recognized the intentions that were hidden behind smiles, messages, and promises. The revelation that is coming is not meant to break you but to free you. Because what has been whispered in the dark is about to be brought into the light. There are things you sensed but could not explain, moments your spirit felt uneasy, times when your peace suddenly dropped without warning. You kept trying to blame yourself, thinking maybe you were overthinking, maybe you were too sensitive, maybe you expected too much. But God says no. What you felt was not insecurity, it was discernment. Your spirit picked up what your ears could not hear. Your heart recognized the truth before your mind could make sense of it. God was protecting you even when you didn't know protection was necessary. And the revelation that's coming is not punishment, it is clarity, clarity that you prayed for on nights when you asked God, "Is this real? Is this right? Is this person who they say they are?" You were not imagining the shifts, the changes, the inconsistencies. You were not imagining the coldness that appeared out of nowhere, the excuses that didn't align, the stories that didn't match, the sudden distance, the disappearing acts, the strange energy, the things that were said with affection but carried no depth. God says there were motives you didn't hear, and He is about to expose them. He is about to reveal what was spoken behind your back, what was discussed in secret, what someone tried to hide, what they thought you would never find out. Not because He wants you to be broken, but because He wants you to be protected. God is guarding your heart from connections that would drain you, deceive you, or destroy the purpose He planted inside you. You are not crazy. You are not paranoid. You are not imagining things. Your spirit has been reacting to the truth before the truth reached your ears. That heaviness you felt was not random. That sudden sadness was not without cause. Those nights when you sensed something was wrong but couldn't explain it, it was God softening your heart so you wouldn't shatter when the revelation arrived. He has been preparing you, strengthening you, giving you quiet warnings that you didn't fully understand. He has been guiding you gently because He knows how deeply you love. How much you give, how much you endure before you walk away. There were moments you felt foolish for trusting. You felt naive for believing in someone's words. You felt confused because what they showed you didn't match what you felt spiritually. But God wants you to know, your love was never the problem. Your loyalty was never the issue. Your trust was never the mistake. The mistake was theirs if they assumed your purity meant weakness, if they thought your kindness made you blind, if they believed your loyalty was something they could hide things behind. God says He is not going to allow you to stay connected to anything built on lies, pride, manipulation, or hidden motives. He loves you too much to let you remain in something that was slowly draining your strength. Your clarity, your joy, and your destiny. You prayed for truth, even if you didn't use those exact words. Every time you said, "Lord, show me what is real," every time you asked, "If this is not for me, remove it," every time you whispered, "God, protect my heart," you were asking for the revelation that is now on its way. God heard what you didn't hear, and He is responding. The truth is coming because your spirit is too valuable, your purpose is too important, your calling is too great for God to let you be misled by someone who only gave you a part of themselves while hiding the rest. God knows the intentions that were not pure, the words that weren't honest, the actions that didn't match the promises. He is about to reveal it, not to punish you, but to realign you. You have been wondering why certain things felt off. You wondered why the connection didn't bring you the peace you expected. You wondered why your heart felt unsettled even when everything seemed fine on the surface. That spiritual discomfort was not an accident, it was a signal. God was whispering to you, "Hold on. Don't attach too deeply. Don't lose yourself trying to understand someone who has already made up their mind about what they will and won't give you." God saw their hesitation. God saw their double-mindedness. God saw the words they spoke to you and the words they spoke to others. God saw their affection toward you and their confusion behind your back. God saw what they wanted from you and what they hoped to hide from you, and God says, "Enough, you have carried the weight long enough. You have waited for clarity long enough. You have questioned your own intuition long enough. Now it is time for God to show you what was hidden." He is not revealing the truth to hurt you, He is revealing it so you can finally rise. You will not walk into your next season with blind trust. You will not enter the future holding hands with someone who only holds your heart halfway. You will not move forward with a person whose intentions were never as pure as yours. The revelation will free you, not break you, and the most powerful thing God wants you to know is this: He is not exposing the truth to embarrass anyone. He is exposing it to protect your destiny. You have a calling that requires clarity, not confusion. You have a purpose that requires strong connections, not draining ones. You have a future that requires honesty, not hidden agendas. God is aligning you with people who match your heart, your spirit, your loyalty, your capacity to love deeply and faithfully. There is something God has been waiting for the right moment to show you, because He knows your heart, and He knows how deeply you feel things. If He had shown you earlier, you might have blamed yourself. You might have tried harder to fix something you didn't break. You might have tried to heal someone who didn't want to be healed. You might have stayed in something longer than you were meant to. So God waited. He waited until your spirit was stronger. He waited until your discernment was sharper. He waited until you were emotionally ready to see the truth without collapsing under it. And now that moment has arrived. What was hidden is coming to the surface, slowly but unmistakably. Because God is preparing you for a shift you didn't see coming, you may have noticed the shift already even if you didn't fully understand it. The silence that suddenly felt heavier. The distance that felt intentional. The words that used to feel warm but now felt rehearsed. The excuses that piled up. The inconsistency that became too loud to ignore. The affection that felt empty. The promises that felt borrowed. The connection that started feeling like a responsibility instead of a natural flow. None of that was your imagination. God has been loosening your attachment so that the revelation wouldn't crush you. He has been slowly pulling your spirit away from what your heart held on to. So that when the truth arrives, you will not fall, you will rise. There are conversations that happened when you weren't around. There were words spoken about you that carried a tone you didn't deserve. There were decisions made behind the scenes. There were intentions that were not pure. There were moments where someone acted differently in your absence. God isn't bringing these things to your attention to damage your self-worth. He is bringing them to your attention to show you that the treatment you received was never about your value, it was about their capacity. You gave much more than they were capable of giving. You saw potential where they saw convenience. You offered sincerity where they offered fragments. You built with your whole heart while they held back with theirs, and God is saying, you are not going to live a half-loved life. He is calling you into a season where love will not confuse you, where intentions will not be hidden, where someone's actions will not make you question your worth. The revelation will not just expose what went wrong, it will expose how much you deserve what is right. You have been settling for emotional crumbs because of the depth of your loyalty, not because of the limit of your value. You kept giving someone the benefit of the doubt even when they kept giving you doubt without benefit. You kept choosing to understand someone who didn't choose to understand you. But God is about to show you why He allowed the disconnect, why He allowed the unease, why He didn't let you get too comfortable. For so long, you prayed for clarity, sometimes without even using words. Your heart cried out for truth. Your soul longed for something real. You were tired of guessing. Tired of interpreting signals. Tired of wondering if you mattered as much as they claimed. Tired of carrying the connection while they carried their excuses. And God says, I heard every silent prayer. I watched your heart bend but not break. I saw the tears you cried alone when you felt something shifting but didn't know how to explain it. And now I am giving you what you asked for, even though it may come in a form you weren't expecting. The revelation will not come to punish you. It will come to release you. God is cutting ties that were connected to confusion. He is closing doors that led nowhere. He is exposing intentions that were never aligned with your spirit. And He is doing it because you deserve peace, not anxiety disguised as affection. You deserve clarity, not mixed signals dressed as love. You deserve effort, not empty words. You deserve reciprocity, not inconsistency. You deserve someone who speaks the truth without you having to dig for it, someone who values you without you having to earn it, someone who gives love without you having to question it. God is also reminding you that intuition is His voice in your spirit. That inner knowing, that sudden discomfort, that unexplainable feeling that something wasn't right, it was never random. Your spirit recognized the misalignment long before your eyes could see it. And every time you felt that strange heaviness after talking to them, every time you sensed something shifting even though nothing was said, every time your peace dropped out of nowhere, it was God whispering, "Something is not as it appears." The revelation that is coming will show you why your spirit reacted the way it did. It will show you why your heart felt uncertain. It will show you why the connection lacked stability. And when you see the truth, it will not destroy you. It will validate everything you felt but couldn't explain. It will confirm the warnings you tried to ignore. It will remind you that God was protecting you all along. You may not realize this yet, but God has been positioning you for something far greater than the attention you were receiving. He has been preparing you for someone whose intentions match their words, whose actions match their promises, whose presence brings peace instead of confusion. You were stretching yourself emotionally for someone who couldn't meet you at the depth you were offering. God is about to free your heart from that imbalance. The revelation will not be a loss, it will be alignment. There is a version of you that God has been shaping quietly. A stronger version. A wiser version. A version that doesn't settle for mixed signals or half commitments. A version that isn't afraid to walk away from people who won't walk toward you. A version that knows the difference between someone who genuinely cares and someone who only cares when it benefits them. You have been evolving without noticing, and that is why certain connections feel heavier now. Your spirit has outgrown emotional inconsistency. Your soul is rejecting anything that drains rather than nourishes you. This transition you're going through is uncomfortable, but it is necessary. God is not taking something from you. He is freeing you from something. Many times, you told yourself to be patient. To give them time, to understand their silence. You thought maybe they were struggling, maybe they needed space, maybe their heart was complicated. And while some of that may be true, God wants you to see that you were carrying a load that wasn't yours. You were overthinking what they weren't even thinking about. You were investing emotionally while they invested superficially. You were offering depth to someone comfortable with shallow waters. Not because you were desperate, but because you believed in the connection more deeply than they did. You tried harder because your heart loves sincerely, not conditionally. But now God is stepping in. He is stepping in because He refuses to let you give your precious heart to someone who treats it casually. He refuses to let you anchor yourself to someone who is floating. He refuses to let you stay attached to a person whose intentions don't match the purity of your spirit. God is not revealing the truth because He wants you to hurt, He is revealing it because He wants you to heal and evolve. He wants you to recognize your worth, not question it. He wants you to see the truth, not chase illusions. He wants you to stand tall, not bend until you break. What you don't realize is that God has already begun the separation. You felt the emotional shift. You felt the energy change. You felt the distance increase. This wasn't confusion, it was divine intervention. God has been pulling you away gradually so you wouldn't be shattered when everything becomes clear. He knows how your heart operates. He knows you love deeply, even when someone doesn't fully deserve it. He knows you hope fiercely. He knows you give more chances than most would. That's why He is revealing everything slowly, not to shock you, but to prepare you, and as the truth unfolds, you will notice something. The peace you lost will return. The heaviness will lift. Your mind will become clearer. Your emotional world will stabilize. That internal storm you kept fighting quietly will finally settle. Because it wasn't just the person you were connected to, it was the uncertainty, the half-effort, the hidden intentions, the unanswered questions, the things that were never said but were always felt. God is resolving what your heart couldn't resolve on its own. He wants you to understand that you weren't wrong for loving. You weren't wrong for trying. You weren't wrong for believing in someone. It's okay that you hoped. It's okay that you saw the best in them. It's okay that you wanted it to work. But now God is replacing hope with revelation. What you saw in them was potential, not consistency. What you fell for was possibility, not reality. What you were loyal to was the version of them they showed you, not the one they hid. God heard the words they said when you weren't there. He saw the actions they thought no one noticed. He saw the intentions that were never as sincere as yours. But He also saw your faithfulness. He saw your purity. He saw your heart not just in the connection, but in life. You always try to do right, even when others don't. You always try to love with honesty, even when others love with conditions. You always give without calculating. You always forgive without hesitating. And God says, I am going to honor that. And now God is bringing you to the most important part of this revelation. The truth is not coming to make you bitter, it is coming to make you wiser. You are stepping into a version of yourself who no longer entertains confusing connections, who no longer tolerates half-hearted effort, who no longer justifies someone else's inconsistencies by blaming yourself. This is the season where God teaches you the strength of letting go, the freedom in seeing clearly, the power in trusting your intuition, and the safety in surrendering to His guidance. You are not losing anything, you are being shifted into alignment. There will come a moment soon where something small, something simple, something unexpected will reveal everything. A sentence, a change in tone, a slip of truth, a confession, a moment of clarity, a message that confirms your intuition, something that finally makes everything add up. You won't have to dig, investigate, chase, or force the truth out. God is going to let the truth present itself naturally. And when it does, you won't collapse the way you feared. You won't be devastated the way you once would have been. Instead, you will feel a strange calm inside your chest, a calm that comes when the spirit finally receives the confirmation it has been sensing all along. God wants you to know that this revelation is timed perfectly. If it came earlier, you wouldn't have been ready. If it came later, you would have wasted too much of yourself. Now, in this moment, your heart is strong enough to receive it, and your spirit is mature enough to grow from it. You are learning to trust yourself again. You are learning to trust your intuition. You are learning to trust God's protection, even when His protection doesn't look like what you expected, and after the truth comes, something else will come right behind it: peace. A deep, steady peace. A peace that settles inside your chest like a quiet sunrise. A peace that tells you you're not wrong, you're not unworthy, you're not unlovable. A peace that reminds you that God never let you walk into a relationship meant to break you. A peace that allows you to breathe again without the weight of uncertainty pressing against your heart. A peace that comes when the confusion finally disappears, then slowly, gently, God will begin rebuilding your heart. He will show you that love is not supposed to feel like guessing. Love is not supposed to feel like waiting for someone to choose you consistently. Love is not supposed to feel like trying to convince someone of your worth. Love is not supposed to be a puzzle of mixed signals and vague intentions. Real love, the kind God intends for your life, will feel like clarity, not confusion, reciprocity, not resistance, peace, not anxiety, assurance, not fear, and as this new clarity enters your life, you will realize something powerful. You didn't lose them, God removed them because they weren't aligned with the version of you He is raising. You didn't fail, they failed to match your sincerity. You didn't break, they simply weren't capable of holding a heart as deep as yours. You weren't abandoned, God redirected you toward something better. You weren't deceived, you were protected. Every tear you cried, God saw. Every moment you doubted yourself, He heard. Every silent prayer you whispered, He answered. Soon, you will look back and say, "That revelation saved me." It saved you from years of emotional imbalance. It saved you from a connection that looked beautiful on the surface but lacked foundation beneath. It saved you from pouring into someone who didn't have the capacity to pour back. It saved you from building your future on uncertain ground. It saved you from losing yourself trying to understand someone who didn't understand you. And when God closes this chapter, He will open another, one that carries honesty, consistency, depth, maturity, and real love. A connection where you won't have to question anything. A person whose intentions match their words, whose heart matches their actions, whose love matches your effort. Someone who sees you clearly, chooses you wholeheartedly, and values you deeply. Someone who doesn't hide things in the dark because they want to walk in the light with you. Someone who won't make you doubt what you mean to them, because their presence will speak louder than their promises. This revelation is not the end of your story, it is the beginning of your redirection. The start of a new alignment. The opening of a new emotional chapter. God is removing what was not built for your future so He can make room for what is. You are stepping into a season where truth leads you, peace follows you, and clarity surrounds you. And after everything is revealed, you will not be left empty, you will be left free. God is not just exposing the truth of others, He is revealing the truth of who you are. You are stronger than you realized. You are wiser than you knew. You are more intuitive than you ever acknowledged. You are deeply loved, deeply protected, and deeply guided. And this revelation is proof that God refuses to let your heart end up in the wrong hands. Something greater is coming. Something aligned. Something honest. Something mutual. Something destined, and when it arrives, you will understand why God let this truth come now, why He let the connection shift, why He let you feel that spiritual discomfort, and why He heard what you didn't. The revelation is coming, not to break you, but to free you. Not to wound you, but to awaken you. Not to take something away, but to make room for something real. You are stepping into a season where nothing hidden will remain hidden, and nothing meant for you will pass you by. Your heart is being prepared, your path is being cleared, and your spirit is being elevated. What's coming will make sense of everything that didn't. And when you finally stand in that new clarity, you will whisper to yourself, God protected me. God guided me. God saved me. And you will walk forward lighter, stronger, and wiser, ready for what was always meant for your life.